Hey guys, it's been a minute. I really thought I'd get this video out a lot sooner than it actually did. Unfortunately, work and all that stuff came out and I kind of got stuck in, the daily 9 to 5. Um, anyway, to cut things short, I'm decided to go on a little bit short form content type of wise, no longer this long narrative type of content as it just takes too long to edit. As you can see, I am in 1.21.10, as you can see with the end lights in the sky, and I have a working ice bridge machine running at 3 times the speed of my original. Now this is not as fast as Il Mango's machine in the heyday, but it's as close as it's going to get, considering the fact that I have to wait for ice to freeze and melt before the machine can move forward, taking up 2 precious ice ticks that I can't save, or sorry, game ticks that I can't save anywhere else. Now, keeping things in line, I've kind of stuck with the original structure of the machine. I've just made the engine compartment a lot smaller, which is the one that I'm sitting on over here. It's much more compact, saving a lot of blocks, but the rest of the machine basically works on the same principle where it's, moves step forward, melts ice, freezes it again, pulls the water, moves forward, repeats the process type of thing. Now this machine does run in full auto mode, as you can see over here. I still have my storage space chest right over here, and the only thing you need to do to switch from full auto to semi-automatic mode is to take this slime block over here and put it down there. And now we have a semi-auto. If I just get myself another cart like this. There we go. So now we have a semi-auto mode. So you can just sit in your cart over here. Let me switch just to survival. And then in survival, just hold right click over there and the machine should, just keep moving you forward. Now, I don't lose a lot of rails in this process because you can see the rail kind of jumps off and you pick it up. So you don't lose a lot of rails in this thing, but it is possible with server lag that rail could go jumping off. So if you're planning on AFKing this thing, I'd really recommend you use like a stack in your hand or offhand or whatever you want to do. Just hold right click so that the machine can work. Alternatively, you can just place another wall over here along with your detector rail. That way you should be fine, because even then with server lag, as long as you're just seated here, it'll always bounce off into the wall, back into your inventory, repeat. Right. So that is with everything with operating the machine. It is really, cool. It works. And the best part is you've kind of missed it, but I've made it modular. So I can stack as many of these bad boys next to each other to make as wide as a highway as you want, or at least as wide as the server allows you to go with your render distance, that is. You need to know how to operate these machines. It is a little bit complicated to build because you can see here I've got these armor stands embedded in slime blocks and also here in redstone blocks, so you need to know how to do that if you want to actually build this machine. Secondly, it's got a lot of finicky things in this little bridge area here where the water has to be flowing for the machine to run. And also the biggest flaw of this machine is if you leave, so let me just TP to the current coordinates. So that's here. Now, if I go back to like spawn, oh, look, I'm here. Anyway, let's go back to the machine. Oh, look, the water has frozen. So for whatever reason, whenever you leave the render distance of this chunk and you re-enter it, the flowing water will freeze. This causes a problem as the machine will clog up. Let me just get myself a rail. Like that. Move it, move it, move it, move it. Oh, what? We're not moving anymore. That's because the machine backed up on itself. Now, it's not the biggest strange smash out there. You just got to know how to fix it. This does mean, however, if you were running the machine in full auto mode, which is this mode over here, for some reason you disconnect from the server, you lag out, and another player stumbles upon your machine, it will like kind of crash into itself, which I think is great because that means when you respawn, you're going to respawn right here. It might be bad if you've got like another player in the vicinity, you're riding the machine, the player, you disconnect, the player keeps the machine loaded still for a few ticks, the machine runs away from you, but eventually it's going to exit the render distance, it's going to crash in on itself. You spawn back on the ice over here, and you can just catch up with your machine and continue piloting it. So it's got quite a nice anti run away from you feature when you accidentally disconnect. The way to fix this, what you want to do, I'll even do this in survival mode. Let me get a pick over there, because you'll most likely be in survival encountering this issue. So what you want to do is make your way to the nose of the machine. Very importantly, get rid of this piston first. Now what you want to do is break the ice over here and below the slime blocks over there. Make sure all of it is flowing source blocks. There we go, and over those as well, those as well. So now all of these are water source blocks, 100%. No doubt about it. The platform at the bottom will not get stuck at the next tick. So now what you can do is stand here in the platform, place the piston back in its position, and it'll push because of this redstone block over here. So now it's moved this platform forward. Problem is now your water source blocks is out. So you do need a bucket. I did not grab a bucket. You're going to need a bucket so that you can grab a water source block and just have this layer fill itself in. And now you can keep this piston in this location. Now you want to make your way to over here. Very important, make sure you get rid of that piston over there. I didn't mean to get rid of the slime block. The water kind of pushed me. There we go. Make sure you do get rid of that piston over there, because that piston is going to push into this slime block over here, and your armor stand will fall into the void. So what you want to do is recover this armor stand first. Grab the boots. There we go. Grab the armor stand. Now you got... Oh, hell no. Where'd that go? No way that armor stand just fell through the slab, right? Did it? That's insane. Okay, so maybe you want to keep a few spare armor stands nearby just in case that happens. That's the first time that's happened to me. And also you want to harvest this redstone block. Place that armor stand, replace the boot. Note the water has frozen. Very important that we get back to that. Now what you want to do is just place any temporary block. It could be the piston that you had. Place the slime block. Harvest that. Place the redstone block above the slime block. Now notice here how the armor stand kind of has this piston in its way, so you can't fling it out. Gather that slime block. Place the piston at this location. It's going to push the armor stand, slime block, redstone block into each other. This is how you set it up the first time in any case. Now you can harvest this block, place the slime block, and whoa, before you place that piston, make sure all of this is flowing water. You don't want any ice over here, because it's going to just back up the system again, and then you have to do all of that all over. Place that piston there. You see the machine moved forward. If you move back and all of this is source blocks and not flowing water, you know the machine worked. You can now gracefully return back to over here and unclog the rest of the machine. Easy to unclog. You just get rid of this piston over here. Replace the piston. The machine should tick forward once. You can go around to the nose of the machine, confirm everything is still working. You don't have to worry about the flowing water back here. It will clear up as the machine moves forward again. Just make sure that is flowing water. And now you can return back to your machine. Harvest this minecart. Sorry. Oh, not that slime block. Grab this minecart, which is going to update the whole thing. wood. I think I broke the slime block accidentally. Here it is. Okay, I found the armor stand. Okay, you don't lose it. The water just pushed it all the way back there. I'm glad to hear that. And piston back there. There we go. So as long as you've got a pickaxe and some spare resources kept in this chest over here, you should be able to recover the machine whenever it crashes in on itself. And now you can simply just put it on and the machine should operate as normal. Ta-da! So that is how you save the machine once it's clogged up. Again, the machine will clog up whenever you leave the render distance and return to the distance, or return to loading it. Ooh, actually, I think I caught this on a very great tick because the minecart glitched, I think. No, minecart didn't glitch. This here glitched. So I caught it at the exact correct time. But yeah, most likely the machine would have collapsed in on itself and you would have to repair it. But yeah, that is how all of this operates. All right, let's jump straight into how to build this thing. So over here, I got two shulker boxes just to make it easier to show you what you need. One is what you need, one is some extra stuff you probably should bring along. Right, what you do need, you definitely need a pickaxe to do this in survival, 2 buckets of water. You're gonna need 2 frostwalker boots, you're gonna need an 2 armor stands, a minecart with a chest, a detector rail, you're gonna need a stone cutter, deep slate tiles, an observer, you're gonna need 51 slime blocks. The deep slate tiles is a decorative block, you can replace it with whatever you want. I'm using that just as my decorative block. You're going to need redstone blocks, you're going to need sticky pistons, and you're going to need normal pistons. So that's what you're going to need. What I recommend you bring a few extra of is definitely bring 2 extra pistons, 2 extra sticky pistons, 2 extra redstone blocks, 5 extra slime blocks. Bring along an extra observer, as well as 5 of your decorative blocks. Bring an extra minecart cart as well. Bring an extra armor stand. Bring extra frostwalker boots, and bring like a bunch of extra detector rails as well. This is in case you lose anything to the void, which, trust me, happens quite a lot. Right, so what you're going to do with these items, you're going to want to find yourself a nice big thick obsidian layer or pillar, and then dig yourself a little 2x1 area all the way down until you see bedrock. All right, once you see the void, you want to place yourself a little water bucket over there. Dig out this last end stone block and catch the water on your way down. Go all the way down to the pillar till the last block that you can see. It doesn't have to be the last block, but it's the best if you place it as low as possible so that you avoid hitting the roofs of end islands, or the bellies of end islands. I really don't know what you would call that. Wait for the water to flow down. While it does that, place yourself a little area over here where you can place some things that you need. Also just an area for you to stand, as well as just 7 by like 1 area. So you got 7 over here, and then you got some extra space to place whatever you need. Maybe make yourself a little chute so that when you fall down there, you actually fall in water instead of to your death, or whatever. Now, this is where having litematica installed is going to make your life so much easier. You're going to click on open up litematica. You're going to load the schematic. Click on load schematic. It's going to load it into the world. Go to the placement of it. And now I want to configure the placement. So I'm going to keep this at y equals, I think I should keep it at 0. I'm not sure. I'll keep it at 1 for a second just to see. And what you want to do is you kind of want to position it so that I think this is correct. Might have to fly around and take a look. Y equals 0. And what you want to do is you want to back this up so that it is in line with your layer over here, but 1 block higher. So this is actually perfect. This is exactly how you want it. Now, there's something weird with Litematica. I ain't got no idea how this stupid thing works. I have been trying to get it to not chop off this top layer. Now you'll see if I go to placements and I move it down by 1, the top layer appears, but then it cuts off the bottom layer. which is below the water. It cuts off that layer. And then you go back to loading the schematic and you configure it and you move it back one up, and now it cuts off the top layer. I've got no idea how to fix this. Honestly, I'm not an expert in this thing, but I have tried. Luckily, it's only cutting off like 4 blocks over here, so you can work without those 4 and just place them up later onwards. If any of you feel charitable enough that you want to fix the schematic, put it up, please do so. I ain't got no idea. I've tried so many things. Right, so now using the schematic, it really makes it easy to build it. So you can just go and you can just start filling it in. But I'm going to show you how to do it without the schematic, as few people might not have the mod. Right, so what you want to do is, starting from this point, you want to bridge out 15 blocks. Okay. Now this is just to make it easier for you to build the machine. You don't really have to go any further than this. But then what I like to do is I like to build out a little 3 wide layer on the top section like this, which just makes it easier to have your 7 by marker. Right, now what you want to do is you want to grab your decorative block. So I'm going to put everything that is required in the hotbar, and I'm going to try and leave the extra stuff exactly where they are, so that I don't accidentally use any of them, so that when I do need them, you'll see, oh yeah, no, you need this or whatever. Right, so that should, everything in that area there should remain there when I'm done building this entire thing. So what you want to do is grab yourself 2 solid blocks, place it at the bottom of your temporary 15 block layer. You need 15 blocks to build the entire machine without moving it afterwards, so I highly recommend you doing that. You want to build out 2 decorative blocks, and then using slime blocks, you kind of want to do an L shape following your 7 by marker. You want to exceed it by 1, so you're going to go 2 by 4. Then you want to go up with your decorative block and back to the front of the machine with a decorative block, kind of building this little thing and fill in those 2 gaps with solid decorative blocks. You want to repeat this exact same pattern for the other side. So 2 slime blocks, branch out to this side, 2 solid blocks over here, fill in the gap. And now you should have this 2 by 9 platform over here. And this is where all the water is going to sit in. Easiest way to go from here is to place a temporary block in the middle of those 2 decorative blocks over there, and then place a sticky piston right out over there, sticky piston right out over there, and get rid of that temporary block. I just realized I have not been doing this in creative, so that's yeah, I'm survival mode now, so hopefully I don't make that mistake again. Right, so to place a temporary block, 2 sticky pistons on each side of it. Now behind the 1 sticky piston, you want to place yourself a temporary block, redstone block, and then a slime block. Now off to the side towards the other sticky piston, you want to do 2 slime blocks and a redstone block, making this U shape over here. Return to the middle of this U shape and then place pillar up with 1 slime block, 1 redstone block like this. You can now get rid of that temporary block behind the sticky piston, and then on top of the 2 sticky pistons, place slime blocks and close the gap with another slime block. And then on that last slime block, you want to place a piston pushing towards this nose section. You should now have this nose section over here with the slime blocks like that, redstone blocks like this, and you should have this little bridge section over here with this little piston pushing thing pushing into this. Right, returning back to the platform, because it's easy to build from here. You want to grab 1 slime block and pillar up with a redstone block like that. Then off to the side of each, you want to grab yourself stone cutter and give yourself some slabs. Now, working from memory here, I'm going to need 10. I'm going to need 10, so that's like 5 of these. I might need more later on, so I'm not gonna say that you need 10, but I think working from memory, you need 10 of these. First 2 is going to be placed at these 2 locations right over here. Right, so now we're actually going to move on to, this is almost the whole ice bridge machine built. All we need to do now is on top of this layer over here, we need to place one slab block over there. And this is where your first armor stand is going to be positioned. Now, armor stand is going to be a bit tricky to build, but if you follow this block for block, it's going to be easy. You want to place your half slab at the bottom over there, place an armor stand on top of it. No, should probably not use the temporary shit, right? Place your armor stand, equipped Frostwalker boots on it. Make sure it is Frostwalker 2. Equip that onto it. Add a piston to the front of this slab, so that kind of prevents the armor stand from moving forward. Now behind this armor stand, what you want to do is place a temporary block, place a slime block, place a redstone block, like that. And now you can get rid of that temporary block over there. Let's make this layer a little bit wider, just so that it's easier to work and not fall off for the time being. There we go. Right, and now behind the slime block, you want to place another temporary block and a piston to push it into place. You can actually keep that piston over there, because that is going to be the next section of the machine. So you can just keep it right over there. Right, you should now have this entire structure. Now what you want to do is get rid of all this temporary temporary blocks at this layer over here, because it's actually going to be interfering with some slime blocks. And make sure that there's no temporary blocks touching slime blocks at this point. So you don't want temporary blocks over there. Make sure you get rid of those. And you also don't want temporary blocks at this layer here, because there's going to be slime blocks next to this slab. Right, grab your water buckets, because we're going to fill up this entire area. So place your water buckets in a way so that it creates an infinite water source. And then what you want to do is fill up this entire platform with infinite water sources. So you should have a 2 by 7 layer of water sources. Now grabbing your buckets, you want to fill up this third layer below the armor stand as well. You want to fill all of that up with water sources, and be real careful not to miss one water source, because if you miss a single one, you're going to have a gap in the system which could break your bridge. And there we go. So all of those are water sources. So now you have a 3 by 7 section full of water sources. Now go back to the rear of this thing. You can now stand on the platform, because we're basically done with the nose for now. Now using your slime blocks, you want to place a slime block on the side of there and on the side of the slab, as well as another one on the side of the bottom slime block, and then place a half a slab over there, kind of boxing off this entire area. Repeating the same for the opposite side, just like this. You're now done with like the main ice bridge builder section. This is what builds your ice bridges for you. Now you have a choice that you can make over here. You're either going to start directly with the engine if you don't want railings, or you're going to build the railings, or you're going to build yourself extra modules to the side of this. You can literally just copy paste, put it literally next to this one, and just get rid of this layer over here so that they kind of just barely touch each other. You also want to replace that slime block, but I'll do a separate video on that. I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, you now have the choice to either expand it to put a lot of these next to each other, or you can build the engine if you don't want railings, or you can now proceed with the railings. Now, if you want to choose to build the engine, you just start building off like this, which is, like this, which is going to be the start of the engine, and just skip to the engine part and just continue off of that. But I'm going to show you how to build the railings. Right, so first thing, we're going to place the armor stand section of the railing builder. So what you want to do is place a slime block over there, place yourself a half a slab over there, and this is where your second armor stand and Frostwalker boots is going to sit. Place that on top of there. Now, I have mentioned before, make sure it's Frostwalker 2. Frostwalker 1 does not have the distance to reach the railings. Frostwalker 1 does not have the distance to reach that corner. Frostwalker 2, boys. Frostwalker 2. Right, let's build out this platform a little bit more just to make it more convenient to walk. I am running out of temporary blocks. I think I accidentally chuck away a little bit too much, so I'm just going to give myself like half a stack because did like 15, 30, and I threw away an entire stack, so I'm just giving myself half a stack back. There we go. So what we're going to do over here is you want to kind of embed slime blocks into this armor stand. Now, best way to do it, place yourself a temporary block over there, slime block over there. You want to do like this Z shape thing. Place yourself a redstone block over there and get rid of this temporary block. Now place a temporary block right over there that's behind this slime block. And now you're going to use a piston to push this entire contraption into that armor stand. Quick, easy, simple, and it'll work. There we go. And this piston, you can keep it here because that's the starting piston for your machine. Or engine, I meant. It's going to be the ignition of the engine, whatever you want to call it. Right, now finishing this, what you want to do is place a slime block and a piston on each side of this little aeroplane looking thing, the little jet that we've got over here. Then you want to place a temporary block, and we'll do one of these and then move on to the second one. Place a temporary block. You want a slime block with a redstone block on top of it. Then you want to branch out 2 slime blocks like that. Then you want to place yourself a temporary block over there, just so that it makes it easier for you to place a solid decorative block. Then in front of that solid decorative block, you want to place another one with a slime block. Notice the slime block isn't touching any temporary blocks. Get rid of this temporary block, get rid of this temporary block. Right, now you want to go ahead and grab yourself some slabs. You need 2 of them, and you want to place them over here. And this slab at the back here is connected to this slime block, so it'll push this one, and similarly that will be pushed. Now what you want to do, grab some water from the front section, and you want to place 3 water sources along those 3 solid blocks on the outside of the wing, whatever you want to call it. Right, now we're going to do the other side. You want yourself a temporary block, slime block, redstone block on top of that, 2 slime blocks off to the side. Then with the help of a temporary block, you want to place a solid block over there with a solid block in front of it, and finally a slime block at the nose. 2 half slabs, one over here, one over here. That slab is connected to this slime block, pushing everything ahead. Make sure to get rid of all the temporary blocks. No temporary blocks should be touching any slime at any point in this video. There we go. All right, so now we're done with the ice bridge builders. We just want to grab ourselves some water for this side. Place them against those 3 solid blocks over there. And there we go. Now the ice bridge machine is basically ready to rock and roll. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build like little stops over here and here just to prevent the water from flowing backwards, because they can get quite annoying. And now we're going to go ahead and start building this engine of the entire machine. So let's expand our platform a little bit more. You want to keep at least 1 temporary block just so that you can still place things. But yeah, 1 or 2 temporary blocks should be good. Right, so now remember I said earlier, if you're building the engine, you want to start off like this. So we're going to continue from this little shape over here. So if you wanted to skip the railing builders, you would basically be jumping all the way up to here. Now what I like to do, I think it's best to try and build this thing from above, because it's just a lot easier to build it. And what you want to do is... Hold on, I made a mistake. Nope. Gotta place this like that. I think I might have misguided some of you earlier on. It should look like this. It shouldn't have the Z shape. It should look like this. You have piston, slime block off to the side, 1 off, like that. Then what I'm going to do is grab 2 of your solid blocks, place them over here and there. Then you can, with the help of a temporary block down here, you want to place a slime block, get rid of that temporary block. It's probably going to fall to the void, but that's fine. Place yourself a piston right over there. Then using slime blocks, you want to wrap around these two decorative blocks. And this is where your observer is going to come in. So you want to place one observer and your last sticky piston. I almost fell off there. Facing backwards like that. Now these last 4 slime blocks, you're going to place in a little like T shape over here. Right like that. Now everything is still matching up with the schematic. So, oh, I got rid of the schematic. Well, yeah, everything to this point still matching up with the schematic. And this is kind of the layer that's been chopped off. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. Right, so now what you want to do, you want to go and grab yourself the stone cutter. And what you want is to get yourself 3 stairs. So one stair is going to go over here, one stair is going to go over here, and your last stair is going to go over here. Now, I do seem to have miscalculated by 2 solid decorative blocks. So I'm going to grab 2 from my backup pile. This is for the 2 walls. Just want to make sure I haven't left them anywhere. I don't think so. All right, so I'm going to grab 2 walls. So if you had to go back to your base to fetch these 2 blocks, I really apologize. But yeah, you're going to place one over there, one over there. Then you're going to place your 2 railings, one over there, one over there. You can keep this one here optionally, or you can remove it. That is where your minecart with the chest is going to live. So you can really get rid of it. I just like keeping it there so the minecart doesn't get any funny ideas and try and fall off. And this is where your minecart's going to go. The second I place this, the machine will step forward once. It's going to break that railing, and the entire thing will crawl forward 1 space. Now it's your time to go and confirm everything was working. So you want to see a nice solid strip of ice right over here, and you want to see water at the front. If you see those 2 things, the ice bridge machine was working. Moving to the side rail builders, you want to see flowing water right over there and right over there, which means it moved forward everything. It made an extra block of water there, which will freeze in the next step. So let's go back to our cart. Grab ourselves another railing, step forward 1 more time. And now you can go to the front of this again. So you should now see a block of ice, water here by the railings, which means the railing builder's working. 2 layers of ice right over here. And if you look at the nose of the machine, still flowing water. That means you've built everything absolutely perfectly. All right, so now to operate this thing in semi-automatic mode, the best I've found is not to look forward and hold right click. It's to look at the piston. Not too low, but just at the top of the piston, like right over there, and just hold right click. This way it only places the rail when the system is ready to fire and you don't lose any of your rails. And you just hold right click indefinitely and the machine will operate as is. If you do not want this in semi-automatic mode, what you can do is get rid of this wall right over here and this slime block down here. Get back up to the machine. Now you want to place that wall in the chest, and that slime block that you harvested, you want to place right in front over there. I'm just going to put in all these temporary blocks right over here. So that is my repair the machine blocks. And now when I place a detector rail right over there, that slime block right over here is going to keep the detector rail from breaking, having the machine basically run in full auto mode. And you can still stick around for the ride. You can just chill in here and the machine will keep running. So yeah, that was everything for this video. If you guys stuck around to the end and you really found it useful or it helped you build a machine or whatever, please give me a like. If you'd like more cool inventions or cool machines, subscribe, because I will be making cool new stuff for problems that nobody ever thought they had. Anyway, peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.